Yeah, but all these beginner type of cult books, they always start with the same key things, which is like learning how to meditate, learning how to visualize, and learning how to handle your emotions. Really, so if you can master those things, I mean, you are more than half of the way.
The meditation part, I think I'm alright with it, honestly. I just sometimes I think too hard about it, like, oh, I'm not supposed to move this hand, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What's like the core, like if you were to really explain it in like 1, 2, 3 terms, like don't worry about nothing else, but these are the core things you should focus on, what would you say? Just so I don't make it too harder than it really is. Because I get the effect. Like I feel way different. But
Mm-hmm. Right, and also consistently feeling that way is going to change your mood and your mindset overall. But to answer your question, like it doesn't really have much to do with posture, right? Because remember, most of the world is coming from the perspective of how of appearances, right? And things have to look a certain way. Like when you were in church, you thought in order to really be sanctified, you got to be falling out of the altar. It's not so much about the look or the hand positions. They do have certain uses, but just to get to the root of it and the core of it, you sit down and you still your body, because as we move, we're getting sensations all across our skin and our muscles. And what I've learned from Vipassana is that a lot of your thoughts come from emotions, which come from body sensations, right? If you graze your hand across a certain body part, it's going to make you feel a certain kind of way. Likewise, if you're hungry, that's going to make you feel a certain way, and that's going to generate certain thoughts. So when you sit still, you're at least taking that part of the equation out of it. You know what I'm saying? The body movements. The next thing is to just be still and go transition from the doing mode, the thinking mode. You're transitioning now to the observer mode, right? So what you're seeing here is that the body is its own animal, and that the mind has thoughts without your help. You feel me? The thoughts are just going on, going on, going on without you really causing them. As the observer mode, you're able to separate from that, and you're able to see your thought process. And what that does is it shows you the path of what happens when you're just going on autopilot. Because most of the time, you think a thought, and that thought leads to another thought, and then that thought eventually. Now you're dwelling in past memories, or you're thinking about the future, right? Either way, you're not in the present. And like I said before, the present is where the power is, because you're here right now. So the thing with meditation is it forces you to be here right now.
Yo, you might cut off, bro. Yo.
Down to depression.
Damn. Yo, you didn't hear me? You might cut off like for a good long period. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, shit. I don't know which part I dropped off at.
Shit. Last thing I heard was you said you turn into observer mode, and once you're in observer mode, you're looking at the past and the future.
Okay. Yeah. So you're observing your thoughts, and as observer, you're seeing that your thoughts are automatic, pretty much. Like thoughts just pop up. Thoughts are kind of like bubbles floating around, and your mind is like a sponge, just picking them all up. Remember what I said earlier about people focusing and thinking about the same thing? It's easier to connect, to be congruent with them, because you're still in the same thought. Just like we talked about in neurolinguistic programming, if somebody's angry, you don't fight fire with fire. You kind of match their mood, right? You get on the same vibe. But anyways, thoughts are just kind of bouncing around.
God damn, why does it keep doing that? Yo, Trav, if you can hear me, stop speaking. I can't hear you. Yo. Hello? Boy, this shit is crazy.
I feel like whenever I'm saying something important, my phone either gets quiet or it kicks me out.
Somebody listening.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. They did it again. That's crazy. Oh, let me leave and come back. Hold on.
Hello, hello.
Yo.
Wow, twice in the same sentence.
Shit is crazy.
I guess to wrap it up, the key thing is to see that your thoughts happen and to not identify with the thought as you. You feel me?
So just look at it like you're watching TV.
Pretty much. You see it as if you're watching TV, as a thing that's happening, and not identify with it. Because when you start identifying with all your thoughts, you're getting more and more stuck in the illusion, more and more stuck in the matrix, so to speak. Because like I said, the thoughts are mostly generated from body sensations or emotions. They're not coming from source. They're mostly reactions. They're not coming from source. When you become the observer, you're starting to identify more with source. It's not that thoughts are a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not that reactions are a bad thing. It's just that you want to be guiding them. You want to be leading them. Always be leading. Right?
Instead of them leading you.
Right. Because it's a spiral that you get caught up in. Somebody says something to piss you off. Now you mad. Now you think about revenge. You think about this. You know what I'm saying? It sets you off on a spiral. And if you get stuck in that way of thinking, it becomes repetitive. And now that becomes your personality. That personality becomes your character, becomes your life. People stay depressed for so long. It's so easy to slip down and fall into a cycle of depression. Because, again, this is why NLP is so important, because it teaches us how the mind works. When you get depressed, you think about a certain thought, and your subconscious mind instantly brings up a memory of what happened the last time you felt this way, right? So if somebody rejects you or says, you know what I'm saying, you draw something or you build something or whatever, and you show it to somebody, they don't like it, they reject it, make fun of it. You emotionally feel bad. And the first thing that your subconscious mind does is it goes back to a memory of the last time this happened. And, you know, the congruency happens. You match those feelings. And that cycle continues. You keep building up memories of what happened in the past, and when you feel so bad, you keep thinking about it, and it feeds itself in an endless loop. So now you're depressed for a few hours. The next time it happened, you're depressed for a few days. Then it becomes weeks. Then you're a depressed person because it's years. And it's hard to break out of it. Because every thought, every word, every experience reminds you of why you're so sad. That's all reaction based. You're identifying with these thoughts and these feelings.
And if you don't take care of it now, as you keep going in life, there's probably gonna be more situations that's gonna add on to it and stick to that shit like glue. It's gonna be harder. Oh, don't tell me this shit happen again.
This is getting pretty obnoxious.
For real.
What part did I leave off at? I think I'm going to talk from my computer.
You said reaction based, and then I asked a question. I don't know if you heard me.
Okay, no, I didn't hear your question.
Oh, I said then that's when if you don't get rid of it at a certain point, more things in life will add on to it and make it harder. So like you'll probably experience the same emotion but in a different experience. Yes. And it'll be harder. Okay.
Yes, exactly. The mind creates neurological pathways, right? And the more that you travel down those pathways, the stronger they become, the more solidified they become. So really, more and more things begin to trigger your depression. More and more things begin to trigger your sadness, right? At first, you're sad about a breakup. Now, anything that reminds you of her triggers a memory of her. And instead of happy memories, you're reminded why you're sad, right? Say, for example, if this girl had a certain hairstyle, every time you see that hairstyle, now you're getting sad. Then the connections just grow and they expand to where everything in your life triggers a response. You're reacting to these thoughts. Likewise, that's why it's so hard to break free, because you have to build new pathways. That's why you have to repetitiously give yourself positive affirmations. That's why you have to repetitiously and consciously make an effort to change.
And so in that sense, basically, where, like you said, thoughts can't really be controlled or removed, they just come. So whenever you do the shadow working, so meditation is basically like shadow work, one and the same, right?
Pretty much.
pretty much.
No, no,
All
no,
right.
no, no, I can't say that. I can't say that. Meditation is that's more of a thing that you do as a practice, not really for a result. Shadow working is for a result. Meditation is more to just to keep you constantly aligned with now, and to keep you as a reminder to not attach to these thoughts or the body or the emotion.
So so that's when so like I said, that's so since thoughts can't really be controlled, uh, and they just come. That's when, if you heal and you feel like you did the work for it, and it comes back later, that's when you would use mental transmutation and use that as fuel to like get something done or some shit.
Precisely. Just like we were talking about with David Snyder and the emotional thing. You can't, it's not good to fight emotions. You have to channel them. You have to redirect them. You have to rename them, right? Fighting yourself causes unnecessary friction. You can't fight emotions because they'll just build up. They'll just be covered up and you have to deal with it later. For example, if you're, say, I have a fear of public speaking, right? So I'll stand up on the stage and I'll start getting scared. I'll start shaking and get nervous. I can say, oh, I'm scared. I'm going to mess up. I can start going down that thought pathway, and that's just going to ruin everything for me. Or I can understand that, you know what? This is the same type of body feeling I get when I'm excited, right? I shake, I get anxious. You know what I'm saying? It can be called fear or it can be called excitement. Now, if I think that excitement, I'm redirecting it into a different neurological pathway. I'm thinking about all the things that come with being excited, you know? Oh, now it's giving me energy instead of taking energy away. This is how powerful your thoughts are and your decisions on what to think is.
So, that son, I just got like a little thought. It's like, so kind of like, you can say that us as humans, we're supposed to have a fire. So life kind of throws us logs to really push that fire in. And we basically have to choose whether we want to have our fire shut off and reduced, or have our fire ignite and give us more of a better flame.
Or to have the fire burn down our village, or to have it to cook us food and keep us warm.
Exactly.
I like that.